Hi, Professor. This is for my final project. What I decided to download and use as a data set was the Amazon stock, and I had to shrink it down to the year 2020 because there was just too many points within the data set for me to run any kind of regression model or anything like that. So I went for year 2020 on with the data set. Okay. The background on this was the Amazon stock had a remarkable year in 2020. It was driven by the increased demand for online shopping. Okay. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the stock price surged significantly, starting at around $94.67 at the beginning of the year and reaching a high of $176.15. Overall, Amazon stock increased approximately by 76.26% in 2020. The primary reason for the surge were increased shopping online with lockdowns and social distancing measures in place. More people turned to online shopping, boosting Amazon's e-commerce sales. The growth in the cloud service, Amazon Web Service, AWS, saw an increased demand as businesses and individuals relied more on cloud computing for remote work and digital services. Expansion of services. Amazon continued to expand its services, including grocery store delivery and entertainment, attracting more customers and increasing their revenue. When I start to look at my data sets that I put together, this is what I had found. The data set focused primarily on open and closed prices along with trading volume. These are the models that I used in Excel to show different information within the volume of the stock. First, I started with a linear regression model. This is a statistical method that models the relationship between the dependent variable on one or more independent variables by fitting a linear equation to the observed data. The generalized linear regression model. This was another model that I used to show this information. This is an extension of the linear regression that allows for response variables that have error distributed methods other than normal distribution. The principal concept analysis, the PCP, was another one that I went with. This reduction technique that transforms the data into sets of orthogonal components, capturing the most variance within the data set. I also did a decision tree. This is a model that uses tree-like structures to make decisions and predictions based on the input features. When I'm looking at the results of this, in my linear regression model, the purpose of this is to predict the close price based on the open price. The outcome, the model has an R-squared value of 0.85, indicating a strong correlation between the open and closed pricings. My cross verification, the cross verification showed a consistent performance with a significant variance, meaning an R-squared around 0.84 to 0.86. My linear regression model, the purpose of this addresses the skewedness or distribution issues within the data. Similar to R-squared value of 0.85, confirming the strength of the relationship. The cross-validation, the performance was consistent, with R-squared values ranging between 0.83 and 0.86. The PCA analysis. The purpose of this was to reduce the data sets, identify the principal concept that explains the most variance. The outcome, the first two principal components accounted for 95% of the variance, simplifying the complexity of the data. The cross-validation, this confirmed the robustness of the identified principal components with similar variant explanations in different data splits. The decision tree, the purpose of this was to predict the outcome of closed prices to open prices using a tree structure. The outcome of the decision tree model achieved an accuracy of 85%. The cross-verification model, this model maintains similar accuracy levels with values between 84 and 85%, indicating a stable performance. Based on my analysis of the cross-validation results, the linear regression model and the generalized linear regression model performed best. Both models showed high R-squared values, indicating a strong connection between the open and closed prices. The decision tree also performed well, but its accuracy was slightly lower than the linear models. The PCP helps simplify the data without losing much variance, but it's more useful in reduction rather than prediction. Overall, I would say the linear regression model was the best. I had the most luck with RStudio versus Excel graphs. Those I was able to put together the mode, the medium, and all of that. I did a pivot table to get a summation of all of the data. By doing so, I was able to at least graph it and see it. However, using RStudio, I felt I got better results due to how it's much more accurate, due to the fact that it takes all of the results, everything I downloaded into the data set, it takes it and it's able to graph it, make decision trees, and do other things like the regression models for me to actually compute the data. I hope this is what you were looking for, and thanks for everything.